welcome to 5 Minute Fridays. My name is Jim Putnam. This week we're going to talk about fall planting. First of all, the backdrop here, this is tropic Utah. It does not feel like the tropics at all. It was in the 20s last night. It was like 13 up at Bryce Canyon National Park overnight last night. So this is not a place that we're probably going to do a lot of fall planting, but in our area in Raleigh and a lot of the country where the ground has not frozen solid yet, this is a good time to be planting. Not everything, and we'll go through some of those things later in the video, but to start with, we'll talk about some things we can plant. Trees are right at the top of the list. You know, as trees are going dormant in the fall, this is a great time to be getting them in the ground because you can get them into the ground, hopefully get some roots on them before spring, before March, April, May. You probably won't have to do hardly any maintenance on them, you know, through that period of time, as opposed to spring planting them as the tree is actually trying to leaf out at the exact same time and put roots on. So it's only having to do one of those things, right? Planting them this time of year. Shrubs, hardy shrubs, definitely on that list. Hardy perennials, and we'll talk about maybe a few perennials we wouldn't plant later in the video. Fall vegetables, for those in the deeper south, we would have definitely already done ours in Raleigh a month ago or a little more even. But in the very deep south, you can be planting some fall vegetables. If you're doing any winter sowing of things like poppies or delphiniums or larkspur, that's time of year to be doing that seeding. And there's a video on my channel that I did with Bree Arthur if you want to go back and take a look at that. Bulbs are at the top of that list. And last week I did a video, the 5-minute video was on bulbs if you want to go back and look at that. So definitely bulb planting times. So there are a lot of things we can be putting in the ground this time of year. Let's talk about some reasons for that. A few reasons why this is a great time of year to be planting. Number one is less watering. Hopefully everybody's going to get some rain at this point. It's been a very, very dry year. And so normally when I'm saying less watering at this point, everybody, you know, most folks have gotten enough rain at this point where because the days are shorter and the nights are cooler, that even a little bit of rainfall can go much further. Unfortunately, we are a little drier than normal, so maybe a little more watering than normal. But for the most part, we can plant this time of year and water something in and have to do very, very little watering on it between then and later in the summer. Secondly, the plant can really concentrate on root growth in areas where the ground's not going to freeze solid. So the plant, rather than trying to put on that new growth, just like I talked about with trees earlier, rather than trying to put on new growth and possibly spring flowering things, trying to flower, it can really put those efforts into the roots. The other thing would be weeding. And so as long as you're mulching after you've planted your plants, you should have less overall weeds to deal with as well through these winter months. Number 4, we should have to deal with less pest this time of year. It's possible to plant something in the mid to late spring or early summer and then have some sort of insect attack it immediately because it goes under some stress where you've underwatered it or overwatered it or something like that. It just invites some sort of pest attack. That's highly unlikely this time of year, right? Because you're just not going to have as many insects active. The other thing would be disease-related issues. So when you plant something in May, it's hard to figure out when to water it. It's hard to figure out whether the plant's wilting because it needs water or it's just hiding from the sun during the day, but it actually has adequate moisture. Just much harder to read the signals. And we end up overwatering things frequently and causing root rot issues. That's probably less likely this time of year as well. You can just, if it's moist, walk away from it. You don't have to think about it. It's not going to be in a wilt. If it's deciduous, the leaves will have already dropped off of it. So you don't have to think about it as much. It's also, number 5, it's much easier on the planter, the person actually doing the work in the garden. You know, November is a much easier time. These are the kinds of things we talk about in the weekly garden planner, you know, which is linked down below the video if you're interested in it, is that this is the time of year when hardscaping and planting and other things, if you can get some of these heavier tasks done, especially things like tree planting, it's much easier than it would be at other times of the year just on you physically with the heat outside, you know, being much less. And then there may also be some deals. Be careful with deals, but there are some deals to be had on plants, probably as people are, nurseries or whatever, converting over to Christmas or closing down for the season, that kind of thing. You're better off buying a healthy plant at full price, though, than you are putting a lot of effort into something that just doesn't look all that great. I would encourage you to flip the container upside down, make sure the roots still look like they're alive on it. They're not just like brown and kind of, if they pull away easily that seem rotted, avoid that plant. Even if it's a good deal, you're going to put effort into something. Winter can be a little bit, you know, obviously it's cold. And so if you're putting something that's already stressed in the ground this time of year, that's not a great idea. Again, Could be deals to be had, but make sure they're healthy plants. Otherwise, just buy full price plants. I've given you the reasons to plant this time of year. Let's talk about a few things I would probably avoid this time of year. Tender perennials. So hardy perennials that are a couple zones hardier than your area can not only be planted, but they can be moved, they could be transplanted, they could be dug up and divided. A lot of activity we could do around planting perennials this time of year. But things like cannas, elephant ears, dahlias, things that are marginally hardy in your area, some of the salvias that are only zone 8 to 10 hardy, and you're in 7B or 8A, those are probably, those tender perennials are the ones that I'm going to avoid. Ones that are far more hardy than your area, absolutely though, put them in the ground. Number 2 would be things that are marginally hardy in your area, and I'll give you an example of this. We have a spider's web fatsia at the house. It's been seen many, many times on the channel. It looks absolutely fantastic now. It's 3.5 feet tall and 3 feet wide. But initially, 3 to 4 years ago, when it first went into the ground, I planted it in November and it had a ton of new growth on it. Breaks every rule that I'm talking about right here because it's only zone 8 hardy, and immediately it got slammed with like a 22-degree night, and it was a major setback to that plant. And so I'm going to avoid things that are just barely hardy in my area. I think you're better off protecting those in the container in a garage or something like that through the winter and putting them in the spring so they have an entire season to get their roots established before that first winter cold. Number 3 are plants that have a tremendous amount of new growth on them right here at the beginning of November. So you're buying a plant in October, November, December, and you're looking at it and it's got 3 inches of new growth on it. What probably came out of a greenhouse somewhere, and that new growth is going to get absolutely destroyed the first 20-degree night you get on it. If the temperature sinks really quickly on it. So I would avoid that. Anything that just seems like it's out of place somehow, like it's fresh to the point of being spring-like instead of fall-like. I'm a North Carolina registered landscape contractor, and I guaranteed plants for a year that I put in on jobs for 20-some years. And so I did find some things that I didn't like to plant this time of year because I knew certainly they weren't going to either wake up vigorously in the spring or they weren't going to wake up at all. And in our area in Raleigh, we have a clay-based soil, and so it tends to stay a little bit wet, especially if we dig a new hole this time of year. It doesn't recompact completely, and when it rains in the wintertime, that water goes into the easiest place it can get into the ground, and it's going to be that newly dug hole where you've planted it. So you can raise things up a little bit to counteract that some, and of course, if you're living in an area that is not wet in the winter, you can kind of ignore what I'm saying right now. But I like to avoid things that don't like wet feet in general. So things like lavender, rosemary, ornamental grasses, baptisia was on that list for me. So some of these plants that just in general you hear about, this plant doesn't like wet feet. Well, that first winter in the ground, even if it's in an area that's not typically wet in your garden, could be wet that first winter having disturbed the soil. And so I would avoid those things. Or again, at least think about strategies to mound them up and prevent them from staying wet that first winter. Ornamental grasses for me, a lot of times I'd buy big, beautiful, full 1 gallon, 3 gallon grasses, put them on a customer's landscape, come back in the spring, and they were 1/3 the size they were when I'd put them in the fall because some portion of the roots on them had actually rotted during the winter time. I spring plant them, they go wild all summer long, virtually no maintenance. They go to sleep that winter and wake up fine that next year. So there's some thoughts. If you're in an area where the ground doesn't freeze solid for you, or an area that just is really has a hard winter, there's a stream flowing behind me that will literally just freeze in place in the next few weeks, and there'll be no water running down the stream. This is not an ideal place to be doing this, but if you're in an area where the ground doesn't freeze, it is so easy to plant this time of year hardy things in your area, especially things that have gone completely to sleep. Plant them, water them, mulch them, and then walk away and not really have to do any spring maintenance on them. If you go and buy 40 plants in the spring, which is what a lot of people do because we all get spring fever, you end up with that first summer being a real struggle on figuring out how to water and how to water them that first summer, how to take care of them, asking neighbors to take care of them. By backing up the calendar, getting some of these hardy things in the ground now, some of these larger things, especially like larger trees and that kind of thing, they can get through this first winter, get some roots established on them, and be far less maintenance in that first summer. So thank you guys so much for watching.